Conakry is about to explode, right? It's the capital city of Guinea, and at that time, Guinea is just going through a rough time. The gas depot had recently been blown to shreds, and essentially the baseline of the economy had been rendered inert. There's no gas to power any forms of transportation, infrastructure that required it, and inflation jumped up about, 50%. And it was just nonsense. It was crazy. People were lining up for 3 days just to get 25 liters for their cars. People fighting at the gas stations, electricity basically being so intermittent that it was just non-existent. And it was just a nightmare. Nobody had seen Guinea like that, living at that point in time. So that should tell you the state of chaos that my nation was in. I mean, there was a lot of social, political circumstances that made things a little bit precarious. Everything was heightened. And I was like, to my cousin, who I grew up with, he's pretty much my brother, we need to get the hell up out of this town. I need to refresh and just reassess what's going on here. I'm still going to stick around, but, let's change the narrative. And that narrative was, let's leave the city and let's go to these group of islands off of the coast of Guinea, off the coast of Conakry, which have always been in the back of my mind. Like, I need to go visit those. When I was 7 or 8, we used to live in, higher elevation in Conakry. We used to look out. You could see the islands in the distance, and I'd always wonder, what was over there? Is this an inhabited location with adventure waiting to be had? And it took about 30 years or so for me to actually get on that mission. I told my cousin that we needed to leave Conakry, which is essentially this peninsula that juts out of Guinea. And the heart of the city is another island, which is, connected to the peninsula by a bridge. And then beyond that, about 3 or 4 kilometers, you have these islands called the Los Islands, which is Portuguese for idols. And the people who lived on this island, or these group of islands, are called the Baga people, who are somewhat emblematic of the Guinean culture. They're great fishermen and women, and they also are fantastic artists. They create these stunning wooden sculptures that, if you search up Guinea, you might get some guinea pigs, but you'll see also some of these sculptures pop up. So the Los Islands, owned by the British, owned by the Portuguese. The French also owned it at a certain point in time. And there used to be a factory on this island called Casa. And factory is essentially a euphemism for slave coast, right? There were many commodities, which they probably traded for human beings, but human beings were also on that island. And these group of islands in Guinea are not as well known. If you think about places like Senegal's Gorée Island, or the slave island, the Gold Coast, in Ghana, the castle there. But that's the issue with Guinea. We don't commemorate the lives lost off of this island. We don't commemorate our history like that. It's not as an important aspect of our, I guess, push for tourists to come and see not only the beautiful landscapes, but also the historical foundation of our nation. Anyways, told my cousin, I guess so many times I gotta tell this guy, let's go. We need to go to these islands and visit and get a sense of history, as well as just a respite from all this bullshit that's happening in the capital city. So the Los Islands are about 4 or 5 kilometers off of the coast of Conakry. And interestingly enough, the channel, so from the mainland to the islands, is not that deep. It's like 10 meters consistently. You'd see capsized boats from decades ago that are just still there rusting away. It doesn't make it feel that intimidating when you're in this kind of rickety pirogue, which is a wooden boat. The one that we commandeered like pirates was this blue one. And we had this young man, late teens, maybe early 20s or so, who was our captain. And he took us to Casa. But as we were heading there, we saw another boat that essentially was stuck in the water. And we decided to be gentlemanly and just go over there and see what they needed. If they needed us to take them, somewhere nearby, But, it's that notion of no good deed goes unpunished. We go there and they're like, yeah, we're not getting on your boat. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. So we decide to head back on our journey, and then the Coast Guard basically comes and bum rush us and tell us that we needed to take them regardless, whether they wanted it or not, and that if we didn't, that our captain didn't have the necessary papers to be actually navigating us through this channel, so we needed to choose. So we were voluntold. So were the passengers on the other boat, which I still don't understand why you wouldn't want us to. Anyways, that's a different story. This is Guinea. They hop in, and that diverts us for another 30 minutes to a different part of the island that we wanted to go to. We drop them off. Nobody said thank you. That's okay. We're done. We get back on the boat, and then we kind of circumvent the island to get to the part that we wanted to actually visit, which was Casa. And yes, we arrived there. Fantastic. Looks amazing. Primordial, ancient. Definitely worth that mini diversion. We get there, walk around the beach. The water is emerald green. Beach is clean, but unfortunately, as I said before, since Guinea doesn't really push for the world to know a little bit more about their natural beauty, there's nobody. It's just me and my cousin and the one person at the cafe. So we had lunch, we had something to drink, and we decided that we want to check a different island, which is called Room. And Room is where the wealthy people in Guinea build their beachfront homes. That would be the Lebanese who came to Guinea after many waves of immigration, whether that be the fall of the Ottoman Empire, persecution while in the Ottoman Empire. After the Second World War, for economic reasons, they moved to parts of West Africa, and were able to build businesses, and then subsequently entrench themselves into the kind of economic, political structure of the nation. So we go there, and it's a smaller island. It's about 45 minutes from where we actually were at in Casa, and just spent the rest of the day there. There's a couple of cafes, and sunset and all that. All in all, fantastic day trip. Definitely needed in the middle of the chaos that Conakry was experiencing. I'd highly recommend anybody who goes to Guinea to try and go there. You can take the actual ferry, which was recently put in place, but I would just take the wooden pirogues and just do like we did, rough it out. It's very safe. Like I said, it's not very deep to channel. You got your life jackets, which we didn't wear. And yeah, it's a journey through time, journey back in time, and just, get a sense of what is possible in this nation. These contrasting visions of peace and chaos right next to each other. And those are the extremes of Guinea. Unfortunately, even the baseline is skewed from one side to the other, and it'd be great to have some middle ground once in a while. So yeah, this is a series about my experiences in West Africa for a 6-month period. We're going to spend a little bit more time in Guinea, that being my country of birth, experiences that I've had while traveling around the country. And yeah, if you have questions, thoughts, comment below. If you have hatred, criticism, keep that to yourself. This is a place of reflection, not instigation. But yeah, it's a wonderful time to be traveling to the motherland for anybody who's ever wondered and considered reconnecting or connecting now. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. My name is Taf Diallo.